Good morning, guys. Luke here. In today's podcast, we are talking about YouTube having brand new games that you can stream. I've actually been playing with this morning. It's pretty cool. I'm going to talk to you about that in detail. We have our first look at the OnePlus 12 and some of the changes that are coming with the new model. And then I want to share with you a really cool story I found on Twitter this morning about how you can use your old N64 controller and turn it into a modern Bluetooth controller. So really cool. If you've got some old Nintendo 64 controllers laying around, I'll talk to you about how to do that in detail. So let's jump in and talk about the changes that have just happened with YouTube and how I think this is probably Google's method of, what would you say, fixing the problems they had with Stadia or moving away from Stadia and getting back into streaming. All right, guys, let's jump in. So guys, I woke up this morning and fired up my YouTube app and was scrolling through the feed and noticed that after I scrolled, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 scrolls, I got a message that popped up on YouTube that just said, would you like to try out a new feature? As a premium subscriber, you can now play games on the YouTube app. And I had heard that this was coming. I seen a tweet about it yesterday that YouTube was experimenting with something inside the YouTube app called Playables. And essentially, you're kind of like streaming small games. So I have this feature. I am a premium YouTube subscriber. There's not a dedicated button or like a dedicated way to get to this without actually scrolling through your feed and then having the message pop up. So it's called Playables on YouTube. They're instant games. You don't have to download them. You don't have to go to the Play Store or do anything, weird to actually get to it. And then you can scroll through it. Like I can scroll to the right and see some of the games. Or there's a view all button at the top. And you get a list. I think it's 37 games that you can play. So I'll read some out to you. So we've got Angry Birds, Basketball Fever, Brain Out, Cannonballs, Color Burst, Crazy Caves, The Daily Crossword, Daily Solitaire. We've got another solitaire game. We've got Gin Rummy, Mahjong, Merge Pirates, My Space Pet, Northern Heights, which is a snowboarding game, Pirate Pop, Extreme Scooter, Stack Bounce, Skate, Super Goal, and today's Hurdle. So a pretty good variety of games. So what happens when you click one of the games, you get about a 5-second delay, and then the game will load up. For the best experience I've found, you want to rotate it so that you're playing it in a landscape setup. I played Angry Birds. What was cool was I actually think I was playing against another real person. When you click the actual app, so if I click on it, I'll just click Angry Birds now. It just goes to loading, and then it just fires up the game straight away. It's a full game. It's called Angry Birds Showdown. It's not, probably the experience isn't that great just yet. So if you turn it into landscape mode, it's not a full screen setup. It's kind of like a windowed setup, but it's very responsive. It was lag free. I didn't have any issues. It was a really quick load time. And like I mentioned, I was playing against someone very, very quickly, and I had a quick game and it took less than 2 or 3 minutes. It was quite good. So it's a great little addition to have this included in YouTube Premium. Like I mentioned, it's just a little bit weird to find. I was just scrolling and then it popped up. And then, essentially from there, I could just opt in and start using it. The other thing I did notice is if you don't see it in your feed as you're scrolling, if you click on the U tab on the far right, scroll down, you'll have history, playlists, and then you'll have your premium benefits. Go into your premium benefits, and then just below that, it'll have like the different things that you can do. And one of those things that you can get is the games. So yeah, pretty cool. All right, let's jump in, because today there was a really cool video about the OnePlus 12, and I want to talk to you about that. So let's jump in. All right, guys. So earlier this morning, OnePlus released the first trailer of the OnePlus 12, and it's a very short trailer, pretty much what you'd expect for a preview of a new phone. What's interesting is it's inspired by nature. So if you watch the video, throughout it, they show like glimpses of, trees and marble and all these different textures. And you can tell that OnePlus is trying to use those textures from nature to inspire the look and feel of the OnePlus 12. I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely unique. We haven't seen anything like that in the past. What I'll say is the back of the device looks very much like a marbled texture. How that actually translates to what the device feels like in the hand, I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how they pull that off. What we know so far is the device is due to come out in December. I believe it's either the 6th or the 7th at this stage. From what we can see of the device, it has a very similar look and feel to the OnePlus Open. So it's got that big camera module. It's got the Hasselblad branding on it. What they've also done is a slight change. They've actually moved the alert slider to the opposite side. Very interesting. They haven't done that in a long time. I'm just super glad that they've kept it. They took it away for a little bit and then they've brought it back. I think a lot of people actually love the alert slider, and it's one of the core features that they come and buy OnePlus phones for. I know personally, as an iPhone user, I still really like having the mute switch on the left-hand side. The action button doesn't really do it for me with the new iPhones. I really like having a physical switch, and I think a lot of people do enjoy having that on OnePlus devices. So other than that, we don't know a lot about the stats right now. The thing with OnePlus devices is they're generally high spec, and they are very well known for being buttery smooth. So I'm assuming we'll see the Snapdragon Gen 3, probably 12 gigs of RAM. I would say base storage will be 256, and then we'll see like 512 and then 1 terabyte, and you'll have additional RAM if you go up to those different modules. What I would love to see is fast charging, like really fast charging on these devices. It's just here in Australia, we really don't get like those super fast charging devices. I don't know why. It seems like the majority of those are China, and then some of them make their way to the US, but we always kind of miss out on, 60 watt, 80 watt, 100 watt charging. So fingers crossed we'll get a really good, solid charger this time around. But yeah, I'm actually excited. I really do like OnePlus. I think they've made massive strides with their camera technology. And if you listen to some of my older podcasts for about 2 weeks ago, talking about the OnePlus Open, I feel like they really have nailed the camera technology this time around. Their color science is much better. The edge detection on portraits and stuff has improved a lot. Video quality is improved. Night photos is better, but nowhere near the competition right now. So they've still got some work to do there. But yeah, that's the brand new OnePlus 12. Let's move on to something I found on Twitter I thought was super interesting, especially if you like retro gaming. So we're going to talk about this N64 controller mod. So guys, reading this really, really cool post from Snazzy Labs from a day ago. So he's taken an old N64 controller and he brought a kit from 8BitDo or 8BitDo and basically pulled the controller apart. And in doing so, he removed the old PCB from the inside, put in a new one, and then plugged in the Bluetooth module and the Rumble pack into the accessory slot. and turned it into a new Bluetooth N64 controller. So I love this idea. I've got a couple of old N64 controllers laying around. This is a really good way to get yourself a Bluetooth controller to use with the Switch. I'm assuming it probably will work with any other type of like streaming service. You might be able to use it with, let's say, Xbox Cloud. Probably won't work as well, but it would definitely work. I don't know how much this kit is. Let me just quickly look it up, because I feel like for a lot of people, this is a really good way to reuse one of their old N64 controllers. So the whole kit, if you head to 8BitDo, you can get the mod kit, you can get the rumble pack, and you can get the improved joystick, which will probably fix a lot of the issues the original one had. You can get it for $39. I think that's very, very affordable. If you get the mod kit and the rumble pack without the joystick, you're looking at $29. And if you buy the joystick separately, it's actually $20. So if you buy it all together, it's definitely a lot cheaper. I would say it'd be fairly easy to fit. The N64 controllers are reasonably easy to pull apart. And yeah, it's going to give you up to 8 hours of playtime. It's got a 500 milliamp battery built in, and it takes about 1 to 2 hours to charge up. So a really interesting and fun way to turn your N64 controller into something usable. So I'm actually just looking at it here on their site. On the rumble pack accessory, you've got USB Type-C charging, you've got a ZR button, you've got a wireless connectivity button, and then the star button. I'm not sure what the star button does, but yeah, very, very cool. Just thought I'd share that with you today, guys. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have some updates around the OnePlus 12. I'm assuming they'll probably keep releasing more information over the next week or so. All right, guys, chat with you tomorrow. Cheers.